Steak quesarito.
Oh, that sounds even better.
$5 box.
YouTube.
Cool.
Of course, I got to get it without sour cream.
Video game guy that likes sports, the sports balls.
Who?
Right here.
Who's a sports boy?
I'm a big old sports boy right here. I like the footballs. I like the Vikings.
Yeah, Chad was
fantasy.
Chad was watching the football men earlier.
I was watching with my son and my youngest.
Can we all stand at one accord and celebrate briefly the defeat of Ohio State at the hands of
Ohio? Hallelujah. Yes. Again, I'm not even a sports guy, but I don't like Ohio State because of their fans. Sorry if anybody watching is a fan.
Now, I don't know if it was last year or whatever, but the when Ohio State beat them on their in their stadium, apparently either the team or about their fans or somebody, they gathered in the middle of their field and sang their song or whatever.
Their fight song?
In the stadium. Well, this year apparently, I think the quarterback from Ohio State planted the school flag in the middle of their field.
Right.
And the Ohio State fans lost their minds.
But there were no Ohio State players out there in the middle to get in anyone's way to say, like, hey, stop doing this.
Shame. They're like, no class.
Get over it.
No class.
Get over it.
Okay. I love Baja Blast, man. I love it. Oh, my gosh.
Baja Blast.
It's so bad.
It's hard to wear.
It's one of the only sodas that I drink, though, anymore. Taco Bell's Baja Blast, McDonald's Coke, and sometimes Chick-fil-A's Coke. But McDonald's the other day, dude, I went to McDonald's the other day, and they had one of the automated drink machines, like you push the buttons and select it.
The magic Coke machines, yeah.
So I can get at those things. I can get carbonated water.
And
McDonald's carbonation is on point.
Okay,
so it's really good.
Cool.
I'm still getting like a bunch of texts on my computer from this past week. I'm actually going to look in my history and try to find what game I looked up because.
Did you give the Destiny player dude a time-ish, or is he up late too?
Well, technically I said 10.
Okay.
I didn't appreciate getting off when I did of work.
Mm-hmm.
How about the good? Oh, good. Hey, good.
Another 13 yards, 14 yards, and Delvin Cook will have the most rushing yards of a rookie running back, beating Adrian Peterson. Oh, he just did it. He's wow. I'm on the phone, so it's delayed. He now has 20 more yards than Adrian Peterson did on his debut. 127 rushing yards. Booyah!
Oh, that's got to be it. I can't find it.
Got it?
No. I think I just did a Google search and saw the. No, I'm could have sworn I hit the wiki of it.
Wiki.
Yeah, I cannot find it. I don't see where it goes. Oh.
All right.
I'm just going to have to search for it again.
Are we ready? Shall we begin?
Yes, you're going to go.
All right.
I already did. I'm kidding. I already did.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 134 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viss. Joining me this week, Dave Mann and Josh Owens. Welcome, fellas.
Heyo.
Hey, guys. Hey. Guys.
So how much football did everyone watch opening weekend? NFL football is back. Did you watch hours and hours of football yesterday
American
and today?
football?
Yes, that's NFL.
I didn't.
That much, huh?
I've watched about 5 minutes of it.
I heard there was a Cowboys game,
good.
like a bunch of Cowboys in like around where I live, riding in to watch the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have to watch it like for living there now. It's like, did you have to buy an Ezekiel Elliott jersey or anything? Like, is that a job requirement?
No.
Interesting. No. Well, football is back, which none of you care about on this podcast. Maybe some of you do. I am one that does, but we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the video games. I mean, you can play football video game.
You guys know I could talk about football just all day.
For days.
I would. Actually, Chad, can we start another podcast just about football?
Absolutely.
I would love to. I would just love to talk about the sports.
He's the football encyclopedia, they call him, Josh Owens. And yeah, Al Michaels calls Josh when he has a question.
I was trying to be a resource for Cecilia for her fantasy football this year, and she benched Thielen, and I told her not to do it, and she did it.
Yeah.
And so, we all know how that worked out for her.
Next time she'll listen to you, I'm sure.
So maybe if we started a podcast, Chad, she could listen to that podcast and get her fantasy football tips.
Let's table that. Let's put a pin in it. We'll come back. I like the idea.
I just got hit with the stuffed pig.
Well, that happens. All right, so the video games. Good. Dave and I did the podcast last week. We gave a couple bonus entries into our giveaway out, and we did get a response from the Chow, from the Mario Kaio. We asked anyone to go out and find where Mario or something in a Mario game Chow was used, because Dave swore it was something. Guys, I deleted like 25 minutes of research time from the podcast looking for Chow and Mario that you didn't have to listen through on the audio version. We do have one listener who found something. Brian Seddon posted on the Facebook page a screenshot from Super Paper Mario, and the enemy Dementio there. He says, yes, quality snack time. When he snacks on you, for you are the snack. Chow. So that's a valid, it's used in a Mario video game that's valid, Brian. Bonus point for the contest. However, what Dave was thinking of was from Mario 64, as he thought that's where it came from. And shortly after the podcast, we found the opening level before he has any stars or anything. Right when you get introduced to Princess's Castle in Mario 64, you get like a pop-up. I don't know who's talking. It might be Lakitu, the guy with the camera. But he says, Chow, you've reached Princess Toadstool's castle via a warp pipe. Using the controller as a piece of cake. Press A to jump and B to attack. And that is what he was specifically thinking of. But Brian, you still get a point for finding Chow in another game that we were unaware of. So
nice.
Thank you for doing that. Congratulations.
Now you keep talking about points, and I'm so happy for Brian that he got a point. But
that's right.
What did he get a point for?
You are just going to have to stick around this week to find out
what
we're talking about. That's going to bring us into the news that you can use
if you so choose.
To do so. All right. If you listened last week, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing something special with the giveaway. Make sure you listen all the way through. The news this week brought to us by our good friend Andy. Andy, and we're sponsoring this week. I don't know what you just said. It's brought to us by good friend of Andy's. Let's get serious for a moment here. Beatrix Kiddo von Doggington Complin.
Don't tell me what to do.
Andy's dog that he's had for years and years passed away this past week. So he lost his best friend Beatrix. She is no longer around. So Andy, we're really sorry for you and your family and your girls and your wife. And we hope that this podcast will bring a few moments of to try to take your mind off it. And
that is an incredible dog name.
That's a great dog name.
They've Beatrix Kiddo von Doggington Complin. That's more name than most humans have. And
also,
I like
Andy, I just want you to know, all dogs go to heaven. I saw it in a movie. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
So
I believe it.
I'll sign off on that.
Yeah, I agree. So, Andy, hopefully you'll have a good week, and hopefully we can give you a few moments of entertainment to maybe take your mind off it a little bit. So the news this week, L.A. Noire came out in 2011, and we found out this week, just out of the blue from Rockstar, we are getting a remaster.
Now, did it say remaster, or did it say like it was
not
a separate
re-release? It's a re-release. They didn't specifically call it a remaster, but they did say they are updating like the lighting, and which is very important in this game with the detective work that you do. They're fine-tuning it. It gets all the DLC, all the extra stuff into it, so it's more of a re-release, finely tuned, which I guess maybe is not technically a remaster. But it is coming to PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Switch, which is interesting.
Great game. Very interesting.
Yeah, I started this game back when it first came out, and I don't know why, but I don't know if I got distracted or what, but I did not finish it. I know that, and this is intriguing to me. Coming out in November.
Yeah, I love the interview mechanic in this game. That's the one thing that sticks out to me. The whole game was really, really good. Even like down to the gunplay, which didn't play a huge part in it, but the gunplay was even smooth. But I really, really like the interview mechanic. It was really cool.
It would have been cool to me if it was a little more like Grand Theft Auto in its openness.
Yeah,
it wasn't as open, and it didn't play as well as Grand Theft Auto, or like Max Payne. Those styles that they did. But I really love crime dramas and stuff like that, and this had like the Black Dahlia.
Glad you finished that sentence. Yeah, I really love crime.
Yeah, it was really cool, but one of the things I'm super excited about is the fact that this is coming to Switch. Because is this the first Rockstar game that's coming to Switch?
Might be the first Rockstar game that's coming to Nintendo.
Didn't the Bully?
I don't know that that's true, but
or maybe I'm wrong. The Bully didn't go to any Nintendo system,
but it's definitely the first to Switch. That's 100% true.
Okay,
that's impressive. I mean, what does that say? Do you think that lays the groundwork for other Rockstar games to come to the Switch, or is this just because it's a 2011 game that this is possible?
I think that it lays the groundwork. I think that what we're finding out is that the Switch is really at a good change of pace. Everything that Nintendo promised it would be, as far as being a console first, even though it's a handheld, it can. The very first out of the gate, having Skyrim on it and being able to play Skyrim on it. I mean, that's a huge deal. So definitely, if it can play Skyrim, it can do a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Now we have seen, I don't know if it's in the outline or not, or if we talked about it last week, I can't remember, but I have seen things where they're saying in the future, some games are going to require a memory card because they're so big. And Yeah, we didn't talk about that. Can you go through that a little bit for memory? Is that something you've got the tip of your tongue there? I didn't read into it because I was at work and I was like just looking around at stuff. But I did read that coming like in the games that are starting to come. I don't know if at the end of this year or going into 2018, but some of them they found images on like store pages and stuff, online sites, where the box art actually says on it, memory card required. So that means that the game is too big to be able to actually play with just the Switch's internal memory. Up until this point, we knew that the Switch would have to eventually have memory cards to fit all your games and stuff on it. This is the first time that just one game needs a memory card.
How are you doing on memory? Did you buy another one for your...
I still have it. I actually need to look at it. I don't even know how full my Switch is. The majority of the games I have on there are little indie ones, small ones.
Right.
but I have, for example, Zelda is a disc or is a cartridge. Mario Kart is a cart. But I have Minecraft on there, which isn't graphically intense, so it shouldn't be that big. Mm-hmm. But I do have Mario plus Rabbids as a digital download. That might be the bigger game I have on there. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I've got
interesting,
a bunch of other little things on there. So we'll see. I'll have to check it out and look. But yeah, that definitely is interesting. I mean, I would wonder if they're going to start. They're going to have to start like discounting them and packaging them with games, right?
I don't see that happening. I mean, they're not super expensive. They just came out with a 400 gigabyte card here recently for like $250 or something like that, and that's the biggest one you can get. But I mean, you can get a 500 gig for pretty like $60 somewhere in there.
I thought you just said 400 gigabyte for 200 something bucks.
Yeah,
and then you said new gig for $20.
I'm sorry.
You mean 50 gigs?
It must be 4 terabytes.
Oh gosh,
it's large. It must be 4 terabytes. I think
it would have to be 200 over.
Yeah, it would have to be. Yeah, 4 terabytes.
Dang, 4 terabytes. That's insane. And like our consoles came out with 500 gigs.
Yeah, and it's a card the size of a Switch cart.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll keep our ears to the ground for that. Let's take a break here from Nintendo for just a moment to talk about what we talk about every week, and that is PUBG. PUBG is a real exciting game. We're looking forward to playing it when it comes to the Xbox later this year. But this past week, it has sold over 10 million copies since March. Still in early access, not an actual full release game. The creator, his name is escaping my mind for a moment.
PlayerUnknown.
What's that?
PlayerUnknown.
Yeah, I was thinking his real name. But yeah, PlayerUnknown himself. Evan. No, not Evan. That's not right. I can't remember. Anyway, he is saying he did an interview last week and said he probably are not going to raise the price when it comes out of early access. Ark Survival Evolved here recently came out of early access. It went from $30 to $60. And he's saying that at the same time during this week they broke the 1 million concurrent player count, and it continues to go up. It is now the second highest count game ever to Dota 2.
Wow.
And only by I want to say like 200,000. So the way it's growing and continuing to go, no doubt it will pass Dota 2 up.
This guy
real soon.
I mean, they seem to be right now. They're the magic in a bottle right now that they talk about. And it seems like he's making a lot of the right decisions. And the fact that he could price this full price and people would eat it up. He knows that there's a big wave of people that are coming to this game. So maybe he just sees the fact he's going to make, buku bucks anyways. Let's get even more people. I mean,
yeah, and keep it going. And then,
I wouldn't be upset if he priced it full. I would buy it for full price, no problem. But
sure,
it would be awesome.
But there are also loot crates, and you can make some money on. I think he's probably making money on those already. So the numbers probably play out that way. But yeah, 10 million copies already, 1 million concurrent players plus. They haven't even added a second map. They're adding a new gun here in their new update, one of the first new guns they've done in quite some time. You still can't mantle walls. Like there are things, I mean, obviously it's early access. It's not a full game yet. And it's already sold 10 million copies. So you wonder when it comes to the end of the year, this game comes out, is this a game of the year contender?
It is right? Also like it is also interesting, like their early access. Like I don't really know how I played a few of these. Like Xbox has some of that stuff where it's like a preview stuff,
right?
And it always says does not reflect the final game. Now, as far as like PC and early access, I know they're updating it live a lot of times, and so is what's playing right now like really close to the build, or could this be released and you can mantle walls, or
no? Yeah, it's what they're playing is the most recent build that they have out. So all the updates that they've done is out, playable as is. Now they're working on other things still, but as soon as they update and release it, then that's the most recent version. And eventually that gets to the point that that's what they'll release,
Yeah,
and
so
then
the-
you would
so the
assume
week
they'll continue to
before-
update it.
A week, so there won't be any surprises for those that are playing it a week
I don't
before it
think
comes
so.
out.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's almost, and I'm sure it's not 100% true, but it almost feels like early access is just in name only. Because, I mean, games do that all the time. You look at Mass Effect Andromeda, the way it came out, all the updates that it had, you could probably have called that an early access game, not actually out, and then change it, and now it's finally ready.
Right.
So it may be just in name only, but it's to, it's to say, well, not everything's perfect. I saw one match someone was playing where rocks were floating on a hill.
Luke-
there's little things that
Either
are
Luke
just
or
not,
Superman was around.
right, exactly. So things aren't perfect,
Or
but
Ray.
it's being worked on. Or Ray, you never know.
Or what Josh has
So
seen that,
PUBG.
sorry.
Last thing I'll say about them is obviously we know Microsoft is helping to publish the game on the Xbox system, and when he talked about not raising the price. Brandon Green, by the way, is his name. It came to me. He's also saying that Rare, who's making Sea of Thieves, has been in communication with them about helping them with like their water tech, helping them with some of the graphical things that they do. And if you've listened or seen it all, Sea of Thieves, people are saying it's like the best looking water ever in a game, which,
Wow.
I mean, okay, that's, water, wonderful. But best looking water ever in a game, and this company's going, hey, maybe we can help you, kind of fine tune some of your graphics and things. And they'll have
Maybe we can
access
get a piece of that PUBG money.
Well, yeah, if Microsoft is helping publish it, and Rare is a Microsoft company now, or a Microsoft first party developer, then they can swap trade secrets and they can help because they're helping publish. It only makes sense to make it better. So
Yeah, it's cool.
they have resources and access to things they didn't have without Microsoft being involved, which is a big deal and a good thing for the game.
I saw they're about to add foggy weather too.
Yep, that's true. Which is crazy. I mean, that's going to change it a lot.
Yeah, that could completely change the gameplay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So it's exciting. All right, so that's our few minutes there on PUBG. All of us not have ever actually played the game, but man, you would think we've played hours. Next, real quick, Bethesda announced here this last week that they have an unannounced game to be released here in 2017. Just out of nowhere, Todd Howard comes out and says, we got a game we're coming out before the end of this year. Josh, you had your hands raised in touchdown form. What do you think it is?
I don't think it's realistic, but I'm really hoping it's another Fallout. Something I like. What I would hope for. I mean, what I would really hope for is another full Fallout game like Fallout 5, but slightly more realistically, although I don't think it's realistic, something along the lines of like Fallout New Vegas, where like it's a follow-up to Fallout 4.
Thing, sure.
Yeah, but like sort of like a in-between game or something like that. I know it's probably not realistic because we sort of just got Fallout 4, but man, I would love more Fallout. That'd be great.
Yeah. Dave,
Now,
you have thoughts?
Their last Elder Scrolls is the online, right?
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, it's technically, yeah.
Yeah, 2015 or 2014?
It's technically Elder Scrolls Turn.
It's close.
Is that what you think it would be, Dave?
I mean,
let me tell you what you want. You want to know what I think?
They didn't say new IP.
No.
Do you think they would have said new IP? I don't think it's a new IP.
Maybe, probably not. If it was, I think they would have said.
I feel like, I feel like companies always make that distinction. I think it's important.
Here's what I think. You ready? You're not gonna like it. It's a mobile game. It's a mobile game of some kind.
I'll get out. You may be right.
That's what I think. I don't know in what world, and maybe it's a brand new world. I don't know that it's a card game per se, but I think it's some form. It's probably one of their either Fallout or Elder Scrolls or anything else, but it's going to be a mobile game.
Well, if it's a Fallout 4 card game, I'll probably play it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my guess. I don't think we're getting anything as awesome as either, Fallout or Skyrim or even a half step. I think there had been something out that we'd heard, although I'd love to see a New Vegas type game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a mobile game of some kind.
Come to think of it, New Vegas was Obsidian anyway. It wasn't Bethesda, but
anyway,
still.
So we'll see. He says coming out by the end of this year, so we'll have some kind of Bethesda game that you'll be able to play brand new this year, maybe on your phones, maybe on consoles.
All right.
All right, let's get into a couple more Nintendo things coming back. We're circling the airfield. We aren't landing the plane, but we're buzzing some towers. So SNES Classic, we've talked about that. We called it a debacle.
Boo.
Just a couple weeks ago. And Dave, Reggie Fils-Aimé, head of Nintendo of America, came out with a statement here this week. Why don't you go through this and the absurdity, the validity and or maybe absurdity of what was said?
I worked until right up until this point, so I don't have like notes prepared, but I do know the gist of what he said, and that is that people should not buy these for more than $80. Don't pay the scalpers. Don't go out and pay anything more than the price that they have listed for it, because there's going to be enough stock. Now, that was pretty much it. I didn't even get to read the article. I shared it. I'm the one that posted it on our page, but I had to keep working.
You're right. There wasn't a whole lot more there than that.
To me, there's a lot of question as to what does enough stock mean. Does that literally mean enough for anyone who wants it? Because they've not had a good track record of doing that. There's plenty. I've been in plenty of Walmarts and Targets across the country in my travels, and I've seen Switches even here in the Dallas area. I've seen some Switches stacked in Target, little Nintendo areas. But I do know there's still people that can't find Switches. It's just it's a lot of world to cover.
It's a crapshoot,
right?
Yeah.
So would it be? I can't imagine you would have that situation, though, with an SNES Classic, because just because there's enough stock doesn't mean that those scalpers aren't just going to still buy everything that they see. Maybe he's trying to deter scalpers from buying everything they see because, there's going to be enough of these. I've heard people say that, since Reggie said it, it's going to happen. But in the past, that has not been the case. Not all the time. So,
I
have no reason to get my hopes up.
Right. They have not had recent success in that area at all. We already know this is a limited thing. They specifically said that. Now, they did say there'll be more than the NES Classics, but it's still limited. They won't be making them past this year. And when you look at what happened with the NES Classics as far as being able to find one, and even the Switches being able to find them,
it doesn't make sense to me that they can make enough. They're literally only producing this for half the time that they produced the NES Classic.
Yeah, it's only going to be available from the end of September to the end of the year.
Yeah. I don't
prove
know.
me wrong. Prove us wrong, Reggie. But
I would
buying it yet.
I would be happy to tweet, Facebook posts, whatever, go out into the street with
texts.
A banner. Yes.
Yeah.
Texts, phone calls, and praise.
Nintendo tattoo.
Right. If I can walk into. See, when I think enough stock, I need to be able to walk into my Target or my Walmart and see 3 there and be able to get one.
Right.
I wouldn't. The only reason I would buy maybe more than one would be to get maybe my kid one, but I probably would only buy one for me and then let him play it when he's over.
Well, you would text me and say, "Hey, do you have one yet?"
No, I definitely would. Honestly,
yeah, right. I know that's what I'm saying. You definitely will do that.
But no. Well, yeah, that was obvious. That was an understood.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
But and you will do the same.
Obviously. Yeah. So obviously.
So what this brings
100%.
What this brings to mind for me is a slightly different question, which is if Nintendo knows that this is a problem and it's a big enough problem to them, it's a big enough problem to them, and they know it's a big enough problem to their public to even address it specifically and say, don't pay scalpers for these, we'll make enough. They never once addressed this problem for the NES Classic. Never one time. They never talked about it. They still haven't talked about it. They have still not really talked about the NES Classic since they stopped production. So wouldn't it make sense for them to say, we're going to make enough of these. Don't pay scalpers for it. Also, we understand this issue was not just with the SNES Classic, but also with the NES Classic. Like, let's do something to make reparations for that too.
That'd be great.
To me, this is way too little too late.
Sure.
Because like you can still find them on like Amazon and stuff. Like people are selling them for like $300.
Right.
So like they still have a huge problem out there with the first one. And now they're saying there's going to be quote unquote enough stock with the second one.
Maybe they're just trying to cut ties. Like, let's just forget that happened and let's pretend like it's not there, and we'll just make good on this one, and everyone will forget about the other one.
I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that's good.
I think they should just stealth release a bunch into the wild, regular NES classics. Like all of a sudden, there's just
that's a great idea.
There's just like 500,000 more of them out there, and all of a sudden the scalpers are like, oh, I got one. I don't have to. I mean, like screw the scalpers. Like that would be something that would be really cool for Nintendo to do. Is say, you know what, screw the scalpers. But I made a bunch. I don't know. My big thing about this SNES one is, along with that, we're going to make enough. Couldn't you have said, we're going to extend production too? Or
make sure if you want one, you can get one.
Yeah, because I don't see how in order to make enough, they're going to have to go freaking off the walls, balls to the walls with this production within now to December.
It seems impossible. And it seems like they're still like, I don't know, man. I don't think I believe him. The more we talk about it, the less I think I believe him. I didn't really believe him in the first place. But what it seems like is this is lip service, because they're still like, because he didn't talk about extending the production schedule or anything about production at all, other than there will be quote unquote enough stock. It seems like he's just saying what everybody wants to hear, but they're still sticking to their arbitrary like cutoff for whatever they already decided. And so, we'll just, sure, there'll be enough stock, and we'll see how it plays out.
I just don't understand, like, the magic words for them that would be so easy is just for them to start coming out. Can you imagine if they started coming out and just simply saying, we've listened to you, like, we hear you, we realize, blah, 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 and then we're giving you this because of what you are asking for. Instead, it's always, they keep coming out with this mentality of, we know what is best. We know, they're not saying those words, but they've never acted like, to me, I've never felt like, oh, we've heard, like Xbox is doing all the stuff with PlayStation and Xbox or Microsoft and Sony. When there's all kinds of talk about Sony or Microsoft servicing their fans, doing this, and how Phil Spencer has really turned around Microsoft as far as that goes, as far as fixing things and doing things for the fans, listening to the fans. That's a big deal to gamers, the community. When you hear that talk, it doesn't fall on deaf ears, and I don't hear that talk about Nintendo. People like Reggie. I'm not saying that everyone hates Nintendo. I mean, it's such a
just
weird.
Josh.
It's just such a weird thing, though, because everybody wants to love Nintendo so much. The nostalgia is there so much, and it's, but they're getting a really disenfranchised.
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe him, and prove me wrong. I won't believe it till I see it, though. I don't find how it could be possible. I hope it is. I really do, because I really would like to have this one a lot more than the NES Classic. I'd love to be able to play Star Fox 2, and the ease of playing all those other fantastic games that are on there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope he's right. We'll see. Next Nintendo item. The team behind an indie game that's coming out on the Switch called Lickspear, L-I-C-T-S-P-E-E-R, Lickspear, did an Ask Me Anything on, I believe it was Reddit, maybe Facebook, and someone was talking to them about having leaderboards and things like that, and they said, yeah, we'll probably have leaderboards, and we know Nintendo's also working on some kind of like scoring achievement system as well, and people are like, what do you mean? And like, he's like, oops, I mean, I can't. Josh just fell over. Oh boy, YouTube, you get your money's worth. when you come to YouTube, no doubt about it. So he let it slip that Nintendo has been working on some kind of achievement / trophy system for the Switch, and that may be coming. What do you guys? Does that? I mean, for the two of us that have Switches, that's cool for me.
Yeah.
That would hype me playing more. I like those little mini rewards within games.
Yes, dude. I think you can. I have the perfect thing for it. Right? You do it like Mario. You do it like Mario Kart does with its cups.
Okay.
I mean, I'm brainstorming.
I mean,
is that too close to the trophy that PlayStation has?
Not necessarily. If you make it into a mushroom or a banana or a star, you could have different levels of cups: mushroom cup, star cup. You can upgrade those. You could also use coins. You could also use mushrooms themselves. I mean, they have a lot of cool little things that are iconic that they can use instead of trophies. That just seems a no-brainer in today's world. It doesn't.
I feel like they all need to be Mario, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like colored coins.
Maybe games.
Maybe the star. Maybe the star is their version of a platinum, and then you have a gold coin and a I don't know.
Well, like you look at Xbox, they don't have any like levels. It's just a number, a total that adds up, and a percentage of completion. So there's a lot of different options. Hopefully, they kind of take it in a new direction. That'd be great. They don't have to copy either one. And Steam has achievements as well. They're a little bit like, who cares? I think. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that want their Steam achievements just as much, but it gives you something, I guess, to play for. And I think that'd be a great idea. That would. Honestly, I think it'd get me playing my Switch even more if there were little goals inside games to try to achieve to get some kind of reward. Arbitrary, not real world. Because I'm all about the trophies and points and stuff.
Yeah, man.
All right. Last thing for Nintendo, this coming Wednesday, there will be a Nintendo Direct. It'll be focusing on the 3DS. As well as Mario Odyssey, and there will be 45 minutes of Mario Odyssey gameplay. Probably after the Direct during the Treehouse Live, but they're going to show 45 minutes. I'm assuming it's going to be new footage that we didn't see at E3 and such. I don't know that for sure, but people are looking forward to this Direct. There may be some cool things announced for the 3DS as well as the Switch. They did do an indie or Nindies event here a couple weeks ago and announced a ton of indie Nintendo or games coming to the Switch. So there's a lot coming out for the Nintendo Switch. They have a lot of software. And as we mentioned earlier with LA Noire coming, you could be getting some big third-party developers making things for the Switch, which is good. So hopefully Nintendo keeps getting lots of games. Watch the Direct. We'll have some news for you next week if there is anything special to report on. And then lastly, for the news this week, we've discussed a Nathan Drake movie in the past. It is something that's supposedly still happening. Sony is doing the movie, obviously, being as they own the Uncharted license. And Tom Holland, Mr. Spider-Man, Peter Parker himself, is playing a young Drake. And we found out this week that they are for sure doing an adaptation from Uncharted 3 during the time where Drake meets Sully. No? You do it?
Wait, did you want me to say it?
I mean, no, I was just going to let you feel it out.
I feel like
I'll let you jump all over it if you were, but if not,
I almost feel like we should make it a bonus entry.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah. How do you want to do that? Live here, how you want to do that?
I mean, we just have.
What is the bonus entry?
Ooh.
Yeah,
because anybody's going to be able to Google it, but I guess people could have Googled last week's.
Could have. Yep. They could have. And that's probably what Brian did.
They did Google last week's. But this is all you do is Google the exact phrase.
Right. So
just say it one time, and then that way they got the one shot. Or they have to rewind 30 seconds.
This put me in mind of a certain movie and a certain quote from a certain movie, which is, I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Man, I should have stopped you.
All right.
I felt like
first person.
I almost feel like they should have just been able to name the movie off of the phrase.
Yeah, maybe.
Because neither Chad and I got it after
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, get us what movie that quote is from.
Anybody
First person.
Oh, the first person? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You gotta be listening to this when it comes out. Are you a real South Dakota Gamer fan, or are you just casual?
Ooh, snap!
I'm a South Dakota gamer.
So let us know what movie that's from, and you get a bonus
Not.
entry. First one to do so.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Chad, but ever since episode 2.
So that does it. So that does it for the news this week. That brings us to Dave. Take it away.
Yeah. So guess what, people? Last week we talked about our PS4 giveaway, and we talked about all of these.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna mute him.
We talked about all of the different ways that we're going to give you. Just go entry crazy as we go through these last 3 months of the giveaway. So I'm going to recap it, and then I'm going to give you what you need to do. So real quick here, in a nutshell, for the next 3 months, there's going to be a possibility to get 3 entries per month by getting the correct answer to us. So you can still do the same way of supporting us at patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer. If you want to do $1 or more, that gets you an entry for the next 3 months. But instead of just doing something each month and getting 1 extra entry, you do this each month and you can get 3. So that's a possible 3, 6, 9. That's a possible 9 entries between now. Yeah, a possible 9. And if you're a Patreon supporter, that's 12. So look, don't miss out on this. I told you we're going to announce it in just a few seconds. I'm kind of, we're going through this off the cuff.
We've done circling. It's coming down
I'm trying to remember what I said last week. So we're only doing it once a month because we didn't even tell Josh here, so he doesn't know. So we're announcing what you got to do once a month randomly in the first 3 weeks. There's a lot of 3s in these bonus stuff. So in the first 3 weeks of the next 3 months, there will be randomly at the beginning, end, or middle of our podcast, we will tell you what you need to do to get 3 entries. So for this month, this is what you need to tell us. In what episode of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast was the first? Now this is in the episodes that you can access on on SoundCloud or iTunes, whatever.
SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube.
Yeah,
not YouTube.
Overcast.
Go to audio, probably.
Yeah. So whatever is the first episode where I was ever recorded saying "piece of pizza" as my outro.
Oh man,
that will get you 3 entries into the giveaway. So you've got 2 weeks, right? Or 3 weeks. You got 2 weeks.
Today would be of the recording is the 11th. So that means we've got 2 more weeks, 2 more podcasts after this one in the month of September.
Yeah. And then we will give the answer out what it is because we know which one it is. I went through and figured it out. And then whoever has sent that to us will get 3 entries.
And you might want to do it on the down low. You may not want to do it as a public post and just let everyone else copy your work unless you're going to do the wrong one.
That would be suggested.
You might want to send us a private message to let us know what episode that is, and not just give everyone else 3 free entries. If you want to win, if you're just...
You could do a public post with the wrong answer and a private message with the right answer.
But if you'd probably want to do the right one first,
right?
Because, or just don't be a jerk and just give us a private message. Just leave it at that. How about that? So there you go. That's it. That's the only time it's being announced. This month is right there.
Wait, so what are we giving away like a gift card or what's happening?
That's right. Moving right along, what we've been playing lately, guys. This is brought to us by Paco. He had a birthday this last week.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Paco. You're a year older.
Oh, happy birthday,
Your hair
Paco.
is even redder than it was the year before.
Is that how that works with redded people?
As I
say,
getting
redder and redder.
On the Facebook from Mother Country. Mm-hmm. Extra special birthday wish to you.
Thank you, Petrov from Russia. So, brought to us by Paco, first-hand supply, dip the world in it. Josh, you were gone last week. What have you been playing since, man?
I'll tell you. I've jumped back into Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Nope, Dave. No.
I just got the special armor.
Cool.
I just finished that quest.
That's nice.
It's
almost like a cheat.
Yeah,
cool.
I was just gonna say it's almost like playing on God mode with that, because like you don't have to use resources to replenish the shield or anything. It's just a time thing, and it doesn't even take that long. So it's awesome. I haven't died since I got it.
Yeah.
I will say though, I'm kind of disappointed. I was hoping that it would look the way it looked.
Yeah,
I was sitting there.
Yeah.
And then I put it on, and it didn't look that much different from all the other armor she had already been wearing. It's just got that like cool glow thing that it does. But I was kind of hoping it would be like that Iron Man looking stuff.
Yeah.
But either way, like it's super useful. I feel like I can take on machines that I haven't really taken on yet, or that I've been avoiding for the most part. So that's good. I feel like I'm almost done with the game, even though it says game progression is only 51%. So I don't think that it's I don't think that it's measuring story progression. I think it's like overall game, like maybe like missions and stuff like that. Because I still have quite a few side quests and stuff to do. But I'm at the part of the story. No spoilers, I think. But there's a big attack about to happen on the Spire. And so I'm supposed to rest before the battle.
Yeah, you're close.
But I haven't done it yet because, like, I was thinking about platinuming the game, but now that I'm looking at all the different trophies, I don't think I want to do it. Like, I get really annoyed with platinums that have a bunch of trophies that are like, find all the collectibles, you know, like
there's some of those
dumb stuff like that. Like, that's so boring to me. I don't enjoy that kind of stuff at all. So I may not do the platinum anyway. I'm assuming you can still play like after you beat the game.
Yeah, I think it'll start you before the final confrontation,
Okay.
so you'll be able to go back into the open world and such.
So I may just finish the story and then like finish up some side quests and stuff like that too. But it's really, really good. I still am not 100% sure where the game is taking place, although I still feel like it's got to be Colorado, that area. Like it's got to be out west. I feel like All Mother Mountain has to be NORAD. That's just my guess. But it's really, really good. I really, really like the story, the way they open some of that stuff up, and like they gave you almost like a definite like time period in that the game is taking place in, so you can kind of place it like from where we are now. So it's really, really cool. I like it. And I also got Darkest Dungeon last week, and so I've been playing that a little bit. It's different. It's
you expected, or
I didn't really know what I expected. I'd seen some gameplay, so I feel like it's pretty close to what I expected, but it's still kind of different than what I thought it was going to be. It's definitely different than any other like turn-based RPG I've played. So if anybody's unfamiliar, it's a turn-based RPG, and what makes it different is you have like this hub area. It's like your, I don't remember, they call it a town or something like that, village. The premise of the game is you are like a descendant of some dude that like owned this house or this land, this estate. And they found something like in caverns, like underneath the estate, that like opened a doorway to like some evil whatever. And so he killed himself. He sent you a letter and killed himself. And so like you're coming there to like retake the estate and like banish the evil or whatever. So it's a loose storyline, basically an excuse for like questing and all that stuff. But it's cool in that the gameplay mechanics are not hard to learn. But there's still some depth there. So like it's simple enough to grasp quickly, but there's still some depth and strategy. But it's different in that in most RPGs, you build up your characters and you want to keep your party members alive, you know, as much as possible. Like in RPGs with permadeath, like you want to avoid losing like a really powerful party member, for example. And in this game, it doesn't really matter. Like party members are almost expendable because every time you go back to town, you can recruit new ones and it's free. So every time you return to town from a mission, there's new people available to recruit. And the game's pretty hard. Like it's pretty hard to keep people alive for more than like 2 or 3 missions unless you're really, really tactical about it. So it focuses less on keeping the same party and more on finding the right mix of the roster that you have available, because there's still like different classes and things like that. At some point, like after you've done a certain amount of missions, you can open up like shops in your town that will let you upgrade heroes. So like if you've got party members that have stuck around for a little while, you can start upgrading them so there's less chance that they will die like on a mission. But there's a lot of different mechanics at play. There's stress, so you have to take into account your party's stress level individually, like each individual member. So different things will cause stress, and then if their stress is too high, they'll start acting erratically in combat. So they may go rogue, they may run away, they may become cowardly and not act at all. So you have to manage that, as well as like hunger and a few other things. And the other thing that's different about it is it takes place like screen by screen. So when you enter a dungeon, there's a map of the dungeon. And so from the first, there's like large rooms. And then in between the large rooms, there's corridors. So like if you enter the room or if you enter the dungeon in a square, a large room that's got like 4 corridors coming off of each side of it, you press one of the sticks in one of the directions of the corridors. And so then your party goes into that corridor. And so you walk just from one side of the screen to the other through that corridor, and you'll like pick up treasure or you'll battle if anybody's in that area. And then when you'll press like a button to go through a door at the end of the corridor, and you'll be in your next big room. And then from that room, you'll press a direction to go to another corridor. So like exploring wise, it's pretty simple because all the like once you're in a dungeon, all the backgrounds look basically the same. And so the quests will be like explore 90% of the rooms in this dungeon, or complete all of the battles in this dungeon, or whatever the case may be. But even that being said, like even that being as simple as it is, it's pretty good. Like I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's cool. Pretty hard, but it's not so hard that it like turns you off and you just want to quit.
Frustrating, yeah.
The only thing that the thing that I'm still getting used to is the fact that party members are so expendable.
Yeah, you want to hang on to them.
Yeah, like I that's just my natural tendency from every other RPG I've ever played. So I'm still getting used to the fact that you don't need to worry that much about losing a party member. So, but it's pretty good. There's some interesting mechanics in there. I'm not even that far in, so I don't have everything unlocked in the town yet, even. But yeah, it's pretty cool so far. So if there's anybody out there that enjoys RPGs, it's almost like a Souls-like RPG.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So
cool.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I would. If you're an RPG fan, I would recommend it. And that's all I've been playing lately.
Cool. Well, some good things, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, David.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
I played a few things this week. Chad beat me in Nidhogg 2 and Everybody's Golf, but I played some No Man's Sky afterwards.
I'm sorry, what was that? Could you repeat that one more time? You talked real fast. I said
Chad beat me in Nidhogg 2 and Everybody's Golf, and No Man's Sky is the thing I played after that, and I really liked No Man's Sky. Really is good. The updates have made it really nice.
Bless you.
Everybody said bless you too.
I really like it. I mean, going back to No Man's Sky after all of these updates have been done, and I haven't played it in a long time. I've seen some people on Facebook on the page that I'm on posting about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a chance. And I downloaded, a couple updates or whatever, or whatever was available, and started over because all my saves were erased.
Dave, I keep forgetting about that, and oh no, that's heartbreaking, especially with that game.
I had to remember that the one thing I really wish they would patch is the speed at which you walk.
You have to do that.
Oh,
quick run jump
Well,
thing, right?
Yes,
that still work?
Run, punch. Yep, you run and punch a jetpack. Yeah, it makes you go fast.
If you build your base and start building those land vehicles, that
I forgot about land vehicles.
Yeah,
yeah, but I was wasting a lot of time in it again. I really liked it. The interface, the UI is different. The way like all the menus are different. It's way more user friendly than it was. There's way more story to it. As far as like how they explain what you mean, I shouldn't say way more story, but they explain what's going on so much better. And and they introduce you to the different characters better, and it's better. It's just a lot better. So I enjoyed playing.
Sounds good.
I think if you're enjoying it now, Dave, I think you'll like when you get further in, you start building your base. Yeah. Like when you buy a space freighter and all that stuff, like I think you're really gonna like all that stuff.
Cool.
It's really good.
Cool. I also played some before Destiny 2 hit, and I played some Destiny 2. I played the Escapist 2 with Jordan and Paco and Evan. All three, two patrons of our Patreon supporters, but all three Steel Brothers. And I tell you what, man, we had a blast. Now, I do have a complaint that I have to make. So, Evan and Paco and I have all played together before. Jordan, it was the first time he was playing. And so Jordan was running around learning how to do, and we were kind of all like, Evan and Paco and I were all kind of like doing our thing. And every once in a while I'm like, oh yeah, you got to do this, you got to do this. And we're explaining it as we go. So he's running around and, getting thrown into solitary because he's punching guards. And then we're like, and we're like getting him under control so we don't like tick off the guards and like their suspicion goes up. And so it makes it easier for us to get around the prison and get the tools that we need. So finally, we spent a lot of time, and I start crafting this plan. I start casing the prison, and I'm like, okay, so
are you Michael Schofield? You're Michael Schofield in this situation.
So Evan, I'm like, okay, Evan sells like 3 cells to my left, right? And I'm on the bottom. Then you got like Paco is up a hallway in a cell, and like a little bit down from him is Jordan. So I start thinking, okay, I know that Paco and I have broken out of this one before. So all I need to do is create I have to like get my intellect way up so I can create a fully functional like fence clippers. Because like you build them one time, they're flimsy cutters. Then you build them and you like upgrade them, they're sturdy. Then you upgrade them again and they're like the best or whatever. Because there's 2 layers of fences you have to get out. It's like a 2-layer fence, and that one will get through 2 layers. So I'm like, okay, I got that. Then I'm thinking, all right, I got to get I got to be able to break through this wall. And once we break through this wall at night, we can go. Well, then I realize, crap, where my cell is, if I break through the wall, I'm in the guard dog pen. And there's like 4 guard dogs in there. I'm like, scratch that. We can't do it. So then we start figuring out that, wait, if we all go up into the vents, we can all go through the vents. We can meet up in the air ducts, go through the vents over to the library, drop down into the library, break out of the wall there, and then it's just a short run to the fence, and we can go out the fence. So as Paco's going around getting a bunch of stuff to make the shovels, I go around. I get screwdrivers for everybody, and I make bed dummies for everybody. I put a screwdriver in everybody's desk, and I put bed dummies in everybody's desk, and I'm telling them the plan. I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I said, as soon as lights go out, you're going to go into your desk. You're going to get the bed dummy. You're going to put the bed dummy in your bed. Then you're going to go back to your desk, get your screwdriver, move your desk, stand up on top of it, unscrew the vent, go through. We meet up. You follow us out, me and Paco out this hole, and then we're going to go through the fence. So this is what happens, right? Cells close. We're in there. All right, let's do the plan. So within seconds, Paco, Jordan, and I are in the vents, and we're over here messing with this vent over by the library, and we're about to drop through, but the library is down far enough. Once you go through, you can't get back up through the vent. So I'm like, Evan, you ready to go? I don't have a bed dummy. I said, yeah, you do. I put it in the desk. I put it in the desk in there. He's like, okay. He's like, oh, I found it. I'm like, okay, all right, get up here because we're about to go now. Then all of a sudden, he can't figure out how to put the bed dummy in the bed. I'm like
the button function, whatever.
You just go to the bed and you go to the bed and there's a thing and then you push the button and it puts it in there. Then all of a sudden we drop through. Paco's already at the fence, right? But I've got the cutters. So then
and you have to escape together.
Well, I don't know because
okay, maybe that's the end of the story. Continue.
But anyways, what happens is I go over to Evan. I'm like, Evan, come on, just forget the bed dummy. Stand up on your desk and unscrew the thing. Come on, we got to go now. Time's running out. All of a sudden, they're suspicious, and it goes to lockdown, right? But in this one, Josh, you would like this. In the second game, they're a little bit more lenient on lockdown to where they don't instantly find you. Like,
oh, that's good.
There's a little countdown, and after a countdown, they come looking for you. They come after you. Like, but it's really weird though because even the dogs can get up in the vents at that point, which is weird.
You know, they're guard dogs.
So Evan decides when it goes into lockdown instead that he's just going to be a good little boy and gets in his bed. What? We're like, Evan, come on! What is happening? Lockdown happens, so I'm like, forget it, guys. Let's go. We're leaving. So we bust out, but at that point we had been in lockdown, so the dogs are going crazy. So Paco had already started digging a hole because he didn't have the cutters.
Didn't have the clippers.
So he dug a hole, starts going under the fence, and before he got to the other side, ran out of his shovel and didn't have enough to get out of the ground. So I'm like, wait a second, I have a shovel. I'm going to come meet you. I'm going to go through there. I'm going to punch through the ceiling, and then we're going. So I ran over there. Jordan's like running around trying not to get caught. I get out there. I get in the hole. I realize, crap, you're not under where you need to be. There's one more fence over here. We got to go one more over. So I dig and dig and dig. I dig up. I only need 10% more of the ceiling to bust it out so we can go, and my shovel runs out. And I'm like, crap, we can't do it. So we're like, we got to get back in. We got to get back in the prison to get into our beds now. So we start going. Well, what happens is somebody got caught, I think. I can't remember. I don't know exactly what it was. I got shot at one time. We got back into the prison, and then we found something that I think was going to get us through. But what happens is I think both Jordan and Paco got back into their cells, and I'm like, I'm going for it. If you guys can follow me, I'm making a break for it. I've got a tool. Well, what happened is there's a little like a construction guy that goes around repairing damage to the prison. So what happened was I went down the hole and got to there, and I only had to break through 10%, but he had repaired the other side.
Oh, no.
So then I had 100%, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get through. And as I start going back, he starts repairing the hole on the other side. A dog comes down, knocks me out, and then goes back out, and then the guy fills the hole in. And I'm trapped unconscious.
I saw that screenshot.
I'm trapped unconscious underground. But the
Dug your own grave.
Yeah, but the medical guy that runs around to get you after you get knocked out, he can't get down there. So I just stayed down in the hole, and I'm unconscious. I can't wake up. It's not on a timer. So I'm just stuck there. Wow. And I'm like, guys, you've got to get some shovels and come over here and dig down and get me.
Dig me out.
Carry me out of the hole, and let's see if we can do this. But the problem was every time we went through different roll calls, I would miss, and so the guards would get.
So you were always on lockdown.
Yeah, and it just wasn't going to work, and it was all Evan's fault. I remember going, what? Like the way that Evan goes, what? Like it wasn't my fault. I'm like, Evan. Everyone else
do
was at the fence, and you hadn't even put your bed dummy down yet. I'm like, come on, man.
That sounds like some fun shenanigans, though.
Yeah, it does. Makes me smile.
Then after that, I played some Destiny 2, which I enjoy. We're going to play some more of that. I'll let Chad talk a little bit about that, too, since he's going to talk about that.
All right. Yeah, so I played Uncharted Lost Legacy, working on that platinum, getting the treasures and such. A real great game. I've talked enough about that. Yeah, Destiny 2, I played that. It was real good. If you enjoyed Destiny 1 or didn't enjoy it, never played, I think you can get into Destiny 2 and enjoy it. It has a much faster ramp up. The story is much better told. And it's a lot of fun. We've only played together once for a short amount of time. I think we'll probably have a longer stint tonight, but I really am liking it. I'm enjoying everything about it and looking forward to getting to the max level. I think if we can get max level, if you got this other guy and we can maybe figure out a time we can actually get the elusive Isaac Ali to play with us, we could probably do a raid.
Yeah.
We'd only need a couple more, and they do have matchmaking this time, so that's helpful. But at least with 3 of us, we could do the Nightfall Strike, which is where you get a lot of the really good loot once we get to that point. So
sweet.
I'm looking forward to that. We got the whole month really of September to do it. And then finally, as Dave blazed through at the beginning of his what we've been playing, you can go to youtube.com/South Dakota Gamer if you'd like to see these gameplay in entirety, which Nidhogg 2, Dave and I played, was real laggy when we played it. However, I watched some of the YouTube video, not laggy. Like, there's no lag in the video.
Really?
It's pretty clean, so we may have to try that again. But I just massacred Dave. I stabbed him in a lot of places. He stabbed me, to be fair. Threw some knives at me and killed me, but he got real frustrated, and I will blame the lag. It was pretty bad. It was not a great connection. But that game's a lot of fun. I think we could do some tournaments and such with that, with the community, or at least between ourselves. Maybe we have a tournament and people can bet on the winner for entries to the contest. And then Dave and I also played Everybody's Golf. We played 9 holes against each other, and again, you could go to YouTube and check out that game, which I also beat Dave in. But it wasn't laggy. I just had better clubs than Dave and better equipment because I played so much more than him, and so it was unfair. So I won.
I am saying you did have clubs that could hit the ball farther and better than me. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was playing with like adolescent clubs and you were playing with your adult clubs. And
well,
you were hitting on the girls' tee and I was hitting on the expert tee.
Yeah. But there's no handicap in Everybody's Golf, so everybody plays with the same level.
That's what I'm saying. The clubs went further, so it was kind of
sure.
like that.
No, I feel you. I hear you. No, you're not wrong. You're 100% correct. But so I won.
Same.
I would like for us to set up another time to play Nidhogg.
We need to.
Can you do more than 2 at a time?
I don't think you do 2 at a time, but we could do winner moves on. You could set up tournaments. There's trophies for tournaments. So you can set up tournaments. I think that would be a great time. And like I said, anybody that doesn't have the game or maybe doesn't have PS4, maybe we let them place bets on who wins for entries in the contest. That sounds great.
It's fun. It's really
It is. It's a great time. I really like it. It's frustrating, but it could be a lot of fun.
I love the
right.
I love the drop. Like you drop weapons or you throw weapons, and then there's always there's weapons laying around from the last time you died. So there's always like a sword or something to pick up. And then if you get like stuck with a stupid bow and arrow, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Hard.
Yeah, it's great.
It's very difficult to shoot that and be accurate. So, all right, well, that's all I played. We're going to move right along into the new releases for this week. There are quite a few. Dave, take us right on through them, please.
All righty. For September 12th for the PS4 and the Xbox One, you've got Dream Break coming out. Also for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, NASCAR Heat 2. For the PS4, Xbox One, PS3, 360, and PC, you got Pro Evolution Soccer 2008. And lastly, for September 12th, coming to the Nintendo Switch is Rayman Legends, the Definitive Edition, which I'm planning on getting because that's a cool game. I like that game.
That's a great fit for the Switch.
The lone survivor of September 14th on the PC is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah.
I'm saying that has to be on Josh's radar, huh?
Woo.
And then the
you
last
can get on the PC?
Several games are coming out on September 5th. I'm sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Well, I gotta see if my PC would be able to run it.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, it's not too much different from the first one. So I don't see why it couldn't, but I haven't checked yet. But either way, I'm very excited.
Very cool.
For September 15th, the rest of these are September 15th for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC is the standalone, I think it's standalone DLC, right? Do you have to have the, okay. So it's standalone DLC, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. So you don't need Dishonored 2 to play it, but it would be kind of cool if you had played Dishonored 2 because it's got a lot of the same characters. I am going to play that eventually, so if you ever want to play it, chat, I'll buy it at some point. Also for the PS4 and Xbox One, NBA Live 18 coming out, and for PS4 and Xbox One, NHL 18. It's coming out
on the ice with the sticks and the blue lines.
Is this now again?
With the icing.
I'm not a huge sports player, but is this a comeback for? Has it been a while since we've had NBA Live?
Yes, this is the EA's. They did one a few years ago. I don't remember which year where they made it. They previewed it, and then they're like, "Yeah, they canceled it." Like journalists went, played it. They had a release date, and then just never came out because it's so bad. That might have been 2 years ago. But yeah, it's been a couple years since we've had an EA NBA game.
Okay, now what about NHL games? Are those
have been out every year. Yeah,
every year. Okay.
Yep.
And then last but not least, for the 3DS, September 15th, Metroid: Samus Returns, which, from what I understand, looks really good, and people are really liking what they see or have played. I think they probably played it at Gamescom or whatever that was.
Yep, kind of the remake of Metroid 2 from the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Maybe the 3DS's Swan song. Possibly. One of the last.
I really wish that this would come to Nintendo Switch. It'd be really nice since we don't.
Yeah.
The next Metroid game the only Metroid game that we have listed is coming out like at an undetermined time, like in the future, probably not even 2018.
Right. Most likely.
So it would be cool. But yeah, that's what you got for this week.
There you go. You got some games. If you want to buy them, that's going to do it for the new releases, which moves us into our final segment of the show. A Game Scoops, 20 questions.
Oh
my God.
That was grody and gross. Game Scoops, 20 questions. Dave has chosen the game this week that Josh and I are going to question. So, Josh, for good luck, start us off.
All right, Dave, in this game that you were thinking of, do you have a companion?
No.
Riding solo.
All right. Was this game?
I have to.
Okay.
I have to say, not in the sense that you're thinking of a companion, but like when I wouldn't have said anything, but when you said riding solo, then I didn't want you to go down that path and waste questions. But it's not in the way that you're thinking. I can guarantee you that.
Well, no, I'm
Josh.
Like
not the way you were originally thinking. I know you're thinking all kinds of stuff now.
The way I was asking it was like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I like sort of like in the way that in Fallout 4 you could have a companion, or in
Skyrim.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
something like that.
Not in that sense.
Yeah, my answer is the same, but I just don't want you to think it's. Yeah, I don't want you to take it the way you did initially.
All right, Dave, did this game come out after January 1st, 2000?
No.
Dave, did this game come out on the SNES, that era of gaming systems?
No.
So that'd be like the 90s probably, right, Josh?
That's what I would assume.
Okay.
Where we're at.
So it could be later than that or earlier than that.
Yeah. My assumption would be it could be either one. My assumption was going to be like the 64 PS1 era.
Okay.
That's just not really based on anything, though.
Sure. All right, Dave, did this game come out during that era, the Nintendo 64 era? All right.
Woo! All right. Is this game based on a licensed property?
Yes.
Good one. Okay. Let's see. Is this game part of a series?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, licensed properties that were series during that time. Star Wars had some games during that time. Well, I'll just take a stab at it. Dave, is this a Star Wars game?
No.
Well, there goes that. I think... No, Batman didn't really have any games.
Dave, did this come out on well, let's see. Was this is this a I keep thinking to ask and then I second guess myself here. Was this game exclusive to Nintendo?
No.
I still feel like I didn't answer that or ask that well.
Is this a first-person game?
No.
Okay. Do you shoot things in this game?
No. That's 10.
Thanks, Damon.
All right. Licensed property, part of a series, not first person. You don't shoot things.
Yeah.
Not Star Wars.
Not Star Wars.
Licensed property. I was gonna say James Bond, but you shoot things. Would you consider Tony Hawk part of a licensed property? I guess it's licensed.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or like a sports game. Those are technically licensed.
Yeah. Technically.
Okay, so Dave, the main character is the main character. No, that's a dumb question. Do you okay, so you don't shoot things. Do you kill anything in this game?
No.
Dave, go on the non-violent route this week.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh boy.
Oh. You just brutally maim them. Maybe it is a Batman game. He doesn't kill anyone. You
just put people in a coma and then they die later.
And he doesn't shoot anyone. Were there Batman games on the PlayStation N64 era? I'm trying to. I mean, I know the SNES ones and the 360 ones.
Yes. So I know the Game Gear had a couple. I don't think the N64 did.
Yeah, the PlayStation.
PlayStation might have. I don't remember any, like, definitely.
All right. Well, let's see. I mean, we did Star Wars. Is this a Batman game, Dave?
No.
All right, then.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. I like that.
Okay.
Definitely licensed. Definitely a series.
Dave, is this a TMNT game?
No.
Doggone it.
All right. Okay. Do you play a human in this game?
Yes.
So a human that doesn't shoot things. There's no killing, but possibly brutal beating up of some kind, maybe. You didn't say there wasn't any.
You're missing the very first question and what I said about the very first question.
The companion, not in the sense we're thinking. So a human with some kind of companion that maybe doesn't have any function in the game, but they're there often or with you. They don't do anything, but they're there. It could be the skateboard from Tony Hawk. I mean, the skateboard would be your companion.
It's true.
I mean, I don't think we should go that route, but it's just a thought. He is human.
I mean, there's Sonic.
But he's not human.
Oh, that's true.
He's an abomination.
There's okay, so in the 64 version of Donkey, oh, that would be exclusive to Nintendo. Never mind. Man,
Human.
oh, and human.
Licensed property. Human. Not a companion in the sense that you were originally asking. But I wouldn't say you don't have companions. Also, it's in the N64 PlayStation era. It's
not first person.
Don't shoot things, not first person. It's well, that wasn't actually a question. It was just something that I threw out there. I'm not gonna say it because it's more of a hint.
How many? What question?
You're on 15.
This would be 15.
Oh man. All right. I'm having a hard time knowing where to go from here.
You guys definitely, I can say for a fact, you definitely have what you need to go down the right path. I can say that for certain.
Licensed property on 64 PlayStation. Having a hard time of thinking of licensed properties.
Is this a side scroller, Dave?
No. That's 15. So 4 questions and a guess. Or 2 guesses, technically.
Do you fight other humans in this game?
Again, I would say not in the sense that you're probably thinking when you asked the question, but I mean, a soft yes, but not in the sense that you're thinking.
Are you in vehicles in this game?
No. 2 more questions before you have to guess. If you don't get it, if you don't almost get it on this next question, I'll give you 1 more hint before your final question. To try to right the ship.
Audience loves that.
I've said enough.
You're not in vehicles.
I've said
too much. Humans fighting humans, kind of, but not like punching them, because that's what I thought. Licensed PlayStation era.
What kind of a licensed property game would you, on a technicality, sort of fight other people, other humans, but you don't shoot, you don't kill. You're human. You kind of have companions, but you don't. It's not in the sense that you would think. You've already eliminated big ones, the obvious ones. Two more questions. Come on, guys, you can do it. Two more questions. Again, I will say, you've got there. You just gotta.
Is this a movie franchise? Like, is this based on a movie license?
No, it is not.
That was 18?
Yeah.
It was 18. So,
One more question and guesses.
Could it be a Pokemon game, Chad?
Do you want me to give you my hint?
Yeah, give us your hints.
You were already there.
We said it already? What did we talk about already then? That we were already there. It's not fair. I mean, it's nice that you're giving us a hint, but it's not fair that we don't remember what we said. What did we say? What are some games we already brought up?
You were there, and then you
diverged.
So the only specifics I remember saying were Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and James Bond.
Which two of those we got knocked? We downed. I said Batman, that got downed.
You don't shoot.
What else did we say?
You know it's not
James Bond.
You know it's not James Bond.
What else did we say, Josh?
I wouldn't say we.
Well, one of us say.
I mean, I started to mention Donkey Kong, but
Humans,
I
not
stopped.
a human. I have short-term memory loss.
If you guys can get back to where you were, and then you know what to ask with your last question, I think you can get it still. You just got to get back there.
Oh, we did say Tony Hawk too, Chad.
Okay, sports. So sports game or a skating game. We spent a lot of time on Tony Hawk.
Remember, there's
A series.
soft yes on fighting.
Soft yes on fighting.
Soft yes on fighting.
Soft yes on companions.
So like a team, Chad.
Uh-huh. Okay.
A licensed property.
Team
Team game.
that's companions that you're human fighting other humans to some kind of extent. We've already been there though.
NFL Blitz? We didn't mention that one. We just mentioned sports games.
We did say sports.
We said sports games and Tony Hawk.
So we got one question to ask. So we could ask if it's a Tony Hawk game. Or we could ask if it's a sports game, which would give us, if it's not a Tony Hawk game, then we're out. We don't know. We lose because we have no idea. If we ask it's a sports game, then we have different options that we can go to guess.
Right.
But he's saying there's a question we could ask that would probably get it for us. But the only thing I can think of you talked about was Tony Hawk. We didn't throw it out there and it didn't get shot down. And it does fit. I mean, there are Skate 3, and Skate, you can punch people. You can run into people and move them out of the way in skating. But again,
I think you can knock people over in Tony Hawk too.
Yeah, you can knock the police officer over at the.
Yeah. I think if you're playing two people on a map, you can knock each other over too. Because I think I remember doing that to my brother all the time.
Do it. Just ask. Ask if it's a Tony Hawk game.
Dave, is this a Tony Hawk game?
No.
Ah, dang it. I feel like it's got to be like a football game or something then.
All right, so we get two guesses. So guess the one you're thinking, and if that's not it, then tell me.
All right, Dave, is the game NFL Blitz?
NFL Blitz was released in 1997.
No, you got it.
It first came to arcade and then was ported to N64. and PlayStation and 64 is where I first played it.
Good job, Josh. Wow.
It was developed by Midway Games. Obviously, the whole deal with the license, it was fully licensed. They had all the teams, if you remember. They almost didn't let them have it because it was so violent. And they actually walked back some of the violence so they could keep the license because they wanted the license with all the teams on there.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like I remember hearing that on before it was G4 TV, it was something else, but Adam Sessler's show on G4 TV, I feel like they talked about that. That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, and there's been several that have come out since then. There's NFL Blitz 99, NFL Blitz 2000, NFL Blitz 2001, NFL Blitz Special Edition, NFL Blitz 2002. Man, actually more than I thought. Blitz the League 2. So, yeah, and I used to love playing this game. Me and my uncles would play it, and I mean, it would be crazy. Basically, it's like, what, 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 or something like that?
Yeah, it's arcade style, yeah.
Yeah, and it was really fun. So, I mean,
cool.
you definitely fight in that game. I mean, because you just hammer people, after late hits, all kinds of stuff. It's technically licensed. Because it's definitely licensed. It's just not the licensing that you typically think of.
Right.
When Josh said sports game, I thought if they stick with this, they'll get it a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh straight up said the game, and I thought you guys were going to get away from it again.
Good job, Josh.
Clutch.
Good job. See, you are the sports guy.
I'm a sports boy.
Oh, big old sports boy, Josh Owens. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's podcast. We squeaked one out. Thanks for listening. As always, remember, we're part of the SiouxEmpire.com podcast family. If you'd like to go check them out, other podcasts from South Dakota. It's been a good one. We've enjoyed it. Enter win that PS4. That's all else we're going to say about that. Until next week.
Wait, what?
All right, quick. Cut them off quick. Have a good night, everybody.
Piece of pizza.
Bye, YouTubes. Thanks for stopping the by.
Excuse me.